Shade tolerant grass varieties. Today, let's jump into some of the shade tolerant grass varieties for the Houston area, Texas Gulf Coast. We carry several different grass varieties, and those are kind of the ones that we know about here, so I'm going to talk about those. That's not to say this is an exhaustive list of all the shade tolerant grasses in the area. As a matter of fact, I know there are other farms that grow some other varieties. These are just ones that we have had a lot of success with over the years. So first, should be noted is that Bermuda grass is absolutely not a shade tolerant variety of grass, so you can cross all those off the list. There's a lot of different types of Bermuda grasses. None of them are compatible with the shade that I am aware of. As St. Augustine's go, Palmetto St. Augustine is the grass that we carry that is that's got some shade tolerance. And by some shade tolerance, I mean that instead of 6 or 7 hours of direct sunlight per day, like the regular Raleigh or common St. Augustine needs, you can get by on like 4 or 5 hours of direct sunlight. And 4 or 5 hours is an absolute minimum, though. The best way to tell if you get enough sunlight in an area is either with a security camera. If you have a security camera, you can kind of scroll through your footage at the end of a day on a sunny day, and you can see the different areas that get sunlight and how much it gets. Or take a picture. We recommend you go outside every hour or every 2 hours with your with a phone and take a picture, and then scroll through those pictures at the end of the day, and it'll tell you the same story. And again, 4 hours is an absolute minimum. I'm fixing to talk about the Zoysia grasses that have some shade tolerance as well. They fall in the same category. 4 hours is an absolute minimum for those. And some people, we tell people you need to aggressively trim your trees before you get grass if you're worried about the shade. If you lost the grass in an area due to shade, you've got an issue, and don't dare order grass from anybody until you trim. Whether it's just raising the trees or raising them and thinning them, or even taking trees down sometimes to get grass to grow in an area. But I tell everybody there's no silver bullet for shade grasses. If you get less than that 4 hours, you need to be looking at ground covers or things like that if you're not willing to trim the trees enough to get that 4 hours. Another type of shade tolerant grass for this area is some of the fine bladed zoysias. We carry 3 types of zoysia: the Palisades, the Emerald, and the Cavalier. The Emerald and the Cavalier are the 2 that have about that same shade tolerance as the Palmetto I mentioned a minute ago. About 4 hours, as long as you get 4 or 5 hours of direct sunlight per day, it can do well. The more sunlight you get on any of these grasses, the healthier they're going to be, and the more that they're going to thrive in an area. So the more sunlight, the better, for sure, no matter what type of grass we're talking about. But so the Palisades zoysia, it needs more along the lines of the Raleigh St. Augustine, 6 or 7 hours. But the Emerald and Cavalier are 2 that can do well in the shade for you. So in summary, shade tolerant grasses that we carry here at Houston Grass that are kind of tried and true over time is the Palmetto St. Augustine, the Emerald Zoysia, and the Cavalier Zoysia. If you've got any questions about any of those, please give us a call, and we'll answer any questions that you might have.